Hi everybody, I am Astghik Nalchajyan, Business Development Manager at GROVF. Welcome to Online Terra Talks. GROVF is Big Data Analytics and Memory Expansion Company. We were the first participant from Armenia and the whole Caucasus who won the Horizon 2020 program in Small and Medium Enterprises Instrument. The online talk is organized within the framework of Armenia Startup Academy Traction Program. The program is implemented by Catalyst Foundation and supported by the European Union's EU for Business Technology Development for Armenia project, implemented by GIZ. Viva-MTS is the corporate partner and supporter of Armenia Startup Academy Traction Program. Within 15 years, Viva-MTS has greatly contributed to the development of the telecom sector in Armenia. By the way, tomorrow the company celebrates its 15th anniversary by live streaming an exclusive gala concert on its Facebook page at 7 p.m. Coming back to our panel discussion, as you might have already noticed, I am the moderator of today's panel on the topic of financing opportunities available from the European Union founders and researchers in Eastern Europe. Our objective with our time today is to share knowledge on the grant schemes from the EU, particularly Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe, give some practical tips to our audience, speak about the application processes and a variety of topics on this matter. With me today, I have an awesome panel of speakers. So without further ado, let me shortly introduce them. We are lucky to have Sander van der Molen, partner at CIVITTA, which is leading consulting and research company in Central and Eastern Europe. Our next speaker is Davit Kardashian, advisor on innovation and science to business linkages at EU for Business Innovative Tourism and Technology Development for Armenia project, which is co-founded by the European Union and implemented by GIZ. And finally, Konstantin Yenkoyan, principal investigator of Horizon 2020 COBRAIN project, and also vice rector for science and at Yerevan State Medical University. Dear speakers, thank you for joining us. It's an honor and pleasure to have you all on. Before we start our discussion, I have a quick note for our audience. You are free to leave your thoughts and questions under the comment sections of Facebook and YouTube Lives. We will get to them in the end of our discussion. If you want to address your question specifically to one of our speakers, just mention their names at the beginning of your question. To give our audience a little background knowledge, let's start a brief overview of the financing opportunities available from the EU, specifically Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe. By coupling research and innovation, Horizon 2020 is helping to achieve sustainable and inclusive growth. The goal is to ensure Europe produces world-class science, removes barriers to innovation, and makes it easier for public and private sectors to collaborate and deliver innovative ideas. With nearly 80 billion euros in funding, Horizon 2020 was the biggest research and innovation program of the EU, available from 2014 to 2020. Soon, Horizon Europe is coming to replace the Horizon Framework Program Horizon 2020 as of January 2021. The European Union has supported Horizon 2020 applications from Armenia under the EU for Business initiative. For example, we at GROVF have received support from the EU within the Support to Small and Medium Enterprises Development in Armenia project under the EU for Business initiative. And as far as I am informed, in the case of the medical university, the first round of the application process was also supported by the European Union. The EU impact goes much farther. In fact, the recently initiated Armenian Startup Academy Traction Program is yet another initiative supported by the EU under the EU for Business Innovative Tourism and Technology Development in Armenia project. To my knowledge, the project is recently launched. So David, could you please introduce the program and also specify what are the objectives of the project in regards to Horizon 2020 and Horizon Framework other programs?
Thank you. Thank you, Astghik, for introduction. Our project, EU for Business Innovative Tourism and Technology Development, project is co-funded by the European Union and German government and implemented by GIZ under the umbrella of private sector development and TVET South Caucasus program. We are part of European Union EU for Business initiative. The whole project budget, which is 13,500,000 euro, is for two different directions. First and bigger part is for tourism component, and it's actually focused on the development of enhanced tourism offerings, particularly for northern regions. And the second component is EU for Business technology development for Armenia, which objective is a transformative creation and development of SMEs to enable broad-based growth and inclusive growth. Under this second component, we have three main pillars, which is support to entrepreneurship development, support to horizon development, horizon participation, and also support to science to business to education collaborations. So I am responsible for the second, for support to horizon participation and support to science to business to education collaborations, and also one action from the first pillar, which is international bridging mechanisms. So anyone after the call, if they are interested or have any question, can contact with me and we can clarify. As you can see, horizon topic is one of the main directions in our project, and this is not the first time that European Union is targeting this topic, and the predecessor of our of this project, namely EU SMETA project, has already targeted this area and successfully supported several applications. There were 8 successful applicants, we can say successful in this regard, who had equal or above threshold. And we also had 2 applicants who won the grant, namely it was your company, GROVF, and also Medical University. And by the way, in these 2 cases, they were also supported by CIVITTA. So interestingly, all of us are now in this call together. I assume at this stage that is it. If there is any more questions, so we can cover that in a later stage during the call.
Though we have already touched on Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe, would you elaborate more on what differentiates them from one another and what are their primary orientations, like industry focuses?
Yeah, sure. Actually, Horizon Europe, Horizon 2020 was the biggest research and innovation framework program so far, but we are waiting for another Horizon Europe even bigger. It is anticipated to be 94 billion euro grant for all member states and associated countries, and not only. But the main target, if I'm not mistaken, there are not more details on this. So hopefully in upcoming months, there will be more information on this topic, as the Horizon Europe will start in next year, starting from 2021.
Okay, thank you. Talking about the application procedures, like the application is the essential part of any funding, I am interested to hear the opinion of all of you on the expectations from the applicants. Like in case of GROVF, we managed to win the funding grant only on our third try after the continuous improvements of our proposal. Obviously, it depends on a sector or on a company, but what does the winner proposal look like? What are the main problems or flaws that companies usually make in their proposals, and at what stage of their proposal development do companies need the advisory services of companies like CIVITTA? I know we have lots of answers from you. Sander, would you go ahead?
Yes, I can start. Yeah, there are different things that go into a successful project proposal. It takes a lot of effort and time, just as you mentioned that for you, for GROVF, it was the third time to make it winning. So you are lucky to have been applying to a call which was repetitive open, what was called the SME instrument, and is now called the EIC accelerator. So then you have the opportunity to actually resubmit and improve, while other opportunities might be only once or every 4 or 5 years. So you don't have the chance to improve. But what all winning proposals have in common is to start very early in the preparation process and commit significant amount of time. It's not let's try a proposal and write in one day, in a couple of hours. Just write some pages and that should be sufficient. So good preparation, a lot of time, dedication, the starting position. So the idea or the project you apply with has to be excellent at international level, not just the best from your university or your company or in Armenia or the region. It's not about the Eastern Partnership countries that you are excelling in. It's from EU, international level. You have to be excellent because your competition is in EU and even beyond EU, as Davit was mentioning, associate countries. So you have to try to change the world in your field, your sector, your technology, your area. It could be from scientific field if you apply at a university. It can be in innovation or technology field if you apply as a company or in a consortium. So you have to stand out and know that you are competing with the best of the world. And here it means that many people should better not even try if they are not excellent in their field. So it's a program not designed for anybody to win. It's not just hire good quality consultants to make it winning or just do a lot of efforts. You have to be knowing that your field you are the best and you have the potential to be the best.
Thank you. What opinions do you have, Konstantin and Davit, on winner proposals? How do they look like for you?
Konstantin should. Okay.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Especially hi to Sander, because Sander was one of the persons who really helped us. And at the same time, Sander hasn't mentioned that probably he hasn't believed that we'll be in time in our proposal, because I really want to tell a story. It's not the close story, but it's really interesting and describing the real situation in situ, what has happened during the last days of the submission. And I remember when I come to Sander, because the CIVITTA was consulting different projects from Armenia in that period, and when it was a day before submission of our Horizon project, I come to Sander for making some budget and so on. Sander looks at me, okay, discuss something, say 1, 2 things, basically. When I went, I just think that Sander really doesn't believe that we could finalize the proposal and submit it. And when finally, it's really true. Even some persons from our team didn't believe, but I believed that we'll be in time and not in time. And when finally we got 14 points and 5 from 15, what was really excellent result. And it's not because it will, but it's because it's the fact now. It's the fact now that with Astghik team, we are the first Armenians who win the Horizon 2020 winning project. And I really happy, not only for us, I really happy for Armenia that finally last year we could do it. We could do it from our country. And as I told in our kickoff meeting, I said that we open the doors for other Armenians to do that. And Sander, now I want to say you that also now we are part of the other Scout project, which is FTI project. and our team is a part of with Fast Track Innovation, very prestigious Horizon project as a partner, and it is the fact. And till we will go probably on some details of the project, I want to stress one thing, that really for Horizon, you really should be excellent. If you are going to Horizon, you are not going to the other proposals and other grants. Please really understand all your needs, all your resources, human, mental. Are you really ready to be as much excellent as you will be ready really to change the world in your field? It's really tremendous, and it's really very obligatory for a team when I think, and with feeling, Sander is starting just when you start the project. And during the project, and nowadays, I really want to say that I'm much more nervous, I'm much more responsible now when I understand that what we have to do. Now I am understanding in a COBRAIN project that, and our team, that we should do something which should change the world, not only in Armenia. It's not about only Armenia. It's about the world in your field. And when it's in your shoulders, you also understand that your country looks on you, your country is behind of you, and you should show and share with knowledge with, and it's not only your own responsibility. It's not only when you are the first person, it's not only the person, it's not only that your team responsibility, it's country responsibility. So it's really very responsible project, and I absolutely agree with Sander. It's just for the beginning, and I think afterwards I will share some secrets as much as I can, and try to encourage the people, if they're really excellent and can find their niche they target in Horizon, to do that. That's it for
Konstantin. Thank you. You will have time to present your project shortly. So what opinions do we have from Davos? What do you think? How it looks like?
It already was mentioned, but it's really very important to state that the most important thing is that the applicant should be excellent in their field. It's the most important thing. There are other also points that that matter, but all others, in my understanding, can be supported. For example, like good experience in application writing. It's also very important, but these can be supported. And particularly, our project is going to support application writing, application elaboration, with involvement of international experts. So that part and some others can be supported somehow. But the most important thing that our research ecosystem players should know, they should be excellent in the topic for which they are applying. So this is my answer.
Thank you. So we have international impact, preparation, dedication, as Sander mentioned, believing in yourself, as Konstantin mentioned, and being excellent in their field. Thank you. As we have already talked about advisory services, I think it's time for you, Sander, to present shortly your consulting services and how CIVITTA supports the grant application process. I know you helped us starting from the market research to intellectual property related matters, business plan development. How does this timeline work for the other projects, and does it differ from case to case?
Yes, yes, it differs. Okay, I'll make a short introduction. CIVITTA is a management consultancy company located in Central and Eastern Europe, in around 16 offices in, I think by now, 14 countries, from Estonia, Finland, Denmark, Poland, Romania, Northern Macedonia, Serbia, Moldova, Belarus, Ukraine. We have different business lines, but one of the business lines is indeed support to grants, grants at national level in these countries, but also to international level, like Horizon 2020. And this is quite a difficult business, actually. To write proposals for clients is challenging. What makes it challenging is this combination of you need to have expertise in the proposal writing process, which we do have. We understand how the process goes, how the planning, how the application should look like, how the evaluation goes, how evaluators think and assess and evaluate proposals. So this is one part we bring. The other part, the other half, the secret ingredients we already talked about, should come from our clients. That means the people with excellent ideas, world-changing ideas, and ability to change the world in their field, either in business, either in science. And their ideas should then fit the specific call. Most Horizon 2020 opportunities are pre-described top-down by the EU, meaning that they identify specific topics where you can apply. There are some opportunities for bottom-up ideas, and both successful Armenian projects that you are representing are actually more bottom-up opportunities, which are typically more competitive. But it means that you have to fit the specific calls. That means you have to be in the right level of development, you have to be in the right topic, in the right description, and fitting the expectations. And this is often a challenging process, how to find a specific call and opportunity that fits your idea and project. So I've had many potential clients that came to me that I have a very innovative idea and I want to apply because, well, I think I deserve some grant to help me. And in many cases, either the innovation did not fit a specific call, or the client thought that they were very innovative, but actually they were not as innovative as they thought, or the activities they wanted to do did not fit the call description. So there's always a process of identifying, is there a specific call ready? Do I have a chance to win? Am I in the right position? Is this for me? Is this call, does the European Commission envision me as an applicant to apply? Do I need to apply on my own or in a consortium? And if the consortium is small, or should it be very big? There are many things to discuss and develop. And that's why timing is very important, to not to identify a call. Okay, in 2 weeks there's this call and I think it's relevant because it's something to do with what I'm doing. Can I apply? This is, I think, the most common mistake that I, as a proposal consultant, will say, no, it doesn't make sense. You have to really invest time and resources from your side, from my side, to prepare and first identify, is there a call suitable, where you have a chance, what needs to be done, and can we join forces, me as a consultant helping in the process, in understanding the proposal writing process and how should the winning proposal look like, and the client who then has to bring in and develop a lot of it's a lot of work. It's not, you cannot outsource to me as a consultant the proposal writing. It's a collaborative process where you have to really design your project. And as Konstantin was mentioning, you need to really think, what if I win this project? Can I implement it? What am I signing up to? Because it's easy to promise many things, to say, we will do this, we will do that. And then once you win the project, then you realize, now I'm contractually obliged to do what I promised. It becomes a responsibility. And that means in the proposal writing, you need to prepare. Can I do what I promise? Can I deliver given the amount of resources I ask? Do we have the right people, the right equipment? If you overpromise, you cannot deliver. But if you underpromise, then you will not likely win, because you are not promising something competitive enough compared to other proposals. So the process in general takes a lot of time and thinking. And as an experienced proposal writer, I can say it's experience that matters. And this is the challenge, I think, for Armenia and many other countries with limited experience. You're joining a competition where many countries have decades of experience, both as universities, companies, consultancy companies, proposal writing companies, who have done for many decades, and they know the ins and outs. And many Armenian applicants will be the first time. They don't know what they don't know. They might treat it, indeed, as mentioned before, as another grant like the local donor funding available. And that makes it very challenging, and that's why it makes sense, and it's very great for you to organize this opportunity for sharing experiences. What was it for you, both at GROVF and as a medical university? What was it the first time? What were your expectations? How have you learned now once implementing projects? Looking back, what were you thinking? How would this grant be? What are the lessons learned? It's good to share. From my experience, yes, I understand that for many countries with little experience in Horizon 2020, they just don't know what they don't know. It's just another grant. It's the first impression, or I have a local idea and can I get money to develop the idea? Those things are typically not enough. You should have very excellent idea, ability to change the world, be in the right position, be competitive at international level in your field, in your sector. And then you indeed need to have the expertise to know what is a good proposal, how does it look, can I get support from GIZ, from a professional consultant, or from other people with experience, how to make a proposal and how to make it winning, how to understand what is a deliverable, a milestone, a work package, what is meant with excellence, what is meant with dissemination, what's the difference between dissemination, communication, exploitation of results. These are all what I call EU language that you have to know. And if you don't know, you probably make mistakes, because the first time when you apply, you guess, but you're not sure. While the evaluators who are paid and are experts, they understand what is meant. And your competitors, applicants that have experience, they understand. And you will look as a newbie, as a person doesn't understand. So probably you will not get the funding, and you'll make many mistakes that you don't know you're making. So this is the disadvantage you have as a country, but this is great that you have successful examples, because it shows it's possible. It is not impossible, and it shows the impacts that you can have with support from an NCP, national contact point, from GIZ that can provide insights, peer learning, asking other organizations, hey, can you share with me, how should I do? So this is, I think, important. So thank you for this opportunity to actually share experiences for others.
Thank you, too, for your input. Since Sander has spoken about the country's experience in this program, going deeper, Davit, since your project aims to support and facilitate the expansion of the participation of Armenian institutions in Horizon Framework programs, I would like to know what are the planned actions of your project in regard of increasing our country's participation in Horizon Framework programs.
Mm-hmm. Our project is, we can say in this way that our support related to Horizon topic, we may divide into 3 different levels, macro, meso, and micro. In the first macro level, we are already working with the state, responsible state governmental body, which is a science committee, and to support with the development of the long-term strategy and institutional approach, because it was missing so far, and we see that the low success in this regard is also coming from that point. So we already started to work on that. By the way, we had a very nice talk with the chairman of Science Committee last week, Astghik Nalchajyan, and the National Contact Points Coordinator, and the point was mainly about the upcoming Horizon Europe framework program, which is hopefully will be solved soon, which is now they are in a negotiation process on being associated, that Armenia will be an associated member, which will provide us with more opportunities, particularly the legal entities from the associated countries have the same privileges than the legal entities from member states. So this is, and by the way, for this strategy development, we are working with two different consulting firms, one from local ecosystem and another one from international. And soon all the relevant entities will be contacted by them to learn about more challenges and how should be strategy developed. This is all about the first macro level. About the meso level, we are going to support the supporting structures to be more proficient in their field, in their role. And here we are talking about National Contact Points Network. And the topics will include like supporting with proposal writing, project design, budgeting, etc. With this, we try to solve the sustainability issue because our project is not forever. And with this, we want to transfer all the knowledge that has international consulting firm excellent on this topic to transfer to Armenian ecosystem players, namely national contact points or supporting structures. Then after our project, there can be continuation of support. And regarding the third micro level support, here we are going directly to work with the applicants and to support them with the proposal elaboration and etc. And here we know that Armenian researchers have huge scientific background, but the problem here is to present, to show that or to write in that manner that is acceptable for European Union, for Horizon Framework Program in context of Horizon Framework Program. So all these are the main parts, main components of our project support for strategic strategy development. The first one, second one is supporting structures, capacity development of supporting structures, and the third one is proposal elaboration, support on that.
Thank you. It was very informative. Since we have talked about the application preparation, we have already talked about the differentiation of different grant schemes. I think it's time to speak a little bit about the project that actually managed to win the program. The first project from Armenia, recognized as the winner of the Horizon 2020 Twinning Program. It's COBRAIN. Konstantin, I know that within COBRAIN, you are working with German and Swedish universities, also from with scientists from abroad and from Armenia. It's obviously a very crucial collaboration between Armenia and Europe on brain research. Could you please elaborate a little bit about your project, just in simple terms, because I'm sure our audience doesn't have any profound knowledge in neuroscience. Just tell us what your team is working on and how it became a great match with Horizon 2020 Twinning Program.
Okay, thank you, Astghik. I try to be short, target, and non-formal in some of the cases. So if I will go out of the rules and definitions of the COBRAIN, I will just say that COBRAIN is something about the brain, about the program of brain, which aim to bring in Armenia to build a brain research excellence center. So it's something, it's some background, it's some atmosphere, it's some policy, it's some preparation of researchers which will finally make the brain research excellence center in Armenia, which should map our country on world scientific map as somewhere when something, particularly brain research, is on excellent level. If I will be more target to the project, I can say that we will build translational neuroscience center for healthy brain aging, when we'll be focused on neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's disease. We'll find out what is happening after stroke. It's the mechanism of recovery after stroke. Now we'll add autism in this field, so we'll investigate the autism. But again, always pathologies, always mechanisms which should be find out during the project are the different, probably small, probably deep projects. The COBRAIN is something which should make it in one and try to bring us on world high level. So we tried via this project, as Sander says, with some excellent ideas, but it's Sander says, not me. We are more honest, more modest, and we will not say that we are very excellent, we are very world-changing, but it's something about that. So it is COBRAIN. For sure, for winning the project like a COBRAIN, as I previously stated, you should be excellent with the ideas will change the world in your field. First, you should have really good background as your own, as a team, as the target and the field in your country, in your university. You should have really good team. It's very, very important. You should be persistent. It's not 1 year job. Coming to the application, we prepare it 2 times. We didn't apply was the first time when it was a little bit prepared, because we feel that we don't have a ready project to be win. So we didn't apply, and then in a year after we apply. Of course, it's very important to have a really good partners. But with story, it's not only about the names. It's not only the brand. For sure, Tübingen University in the neuroscience is a brand. University of Lund of Sweden is a brand. Bochum University is a brand. The people, our partners, are the brands. But just remember, if you have only brand, and the people will not work as your partner, and they will not be really partner. You can't, it's something like you can buy Dolce or Gucci. It's not about that. It should be really the product that helps you. And our partners help us. They really participate in proposal writing, and now they will for sure participate in implementation of the project. In our case, I think we have also one advantage, that we have an advisory board, which is, again, advisory board in our case, with Nobel Prize winner as Aaron Chekhanova, with Zavel Khachaturian as a brand, he's architect of Alzheimer's disease, Alan Kalouyev, Nicolas Deglon, our brands, they help us in the working. Really, they help us again in proposal writing. They started to help us in the implementation. They couldn't come to the kickoff, for example. It's just an example of encouraging and attracting the audience. But not be able to come in a period of kickoff, it's really fantastic when you have a commencement speech and you have a welcome speech which is given by the Nobel Prize winner. And what is interesting, you never could tell the Nobel Prize winner what to say. You couldn't do it. You never could do that. And when they tell with in front of the big auditorium with the political people from politics, scientists, and so on, you really feel that your team is completed from the good guys and the girls, of course.
Yes.
Of course, you should be persistent. And I think not only the proposal, as I told you, it's continuous hard working. Just remember, you couldn't only be football player as a Messi. You has to be workaholic. One of the problems probably of Horizon is to correctly, with hard working, non-sleeping nights to prepare the proposal. It's very important. It's very important to listen to the colleagues like Sander, but also remember, don't think that the persons like Sander or the companies like Sander will write your proposal. Never. Never. It's one of the mistakes that some people do. But you should be so professional that you will catch the proper advices, right ideas, right targets, right edits of the companies like Sander. And it really helps.
Yeah. Thank you, Konstantin. As Konstantin, I think, have inspired lots of entrepreneurs, and I am sure there are some people that already are working on their projects and want to write applications for Horizon grants. I think it's time for you, Sander, that you can share your contacts and tell people at what stage of their proposal can they get in touch with you to seek your assistance and improve their project, though they should be sure that it's them who should develop their project completely, but your assistance also is important.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it really depends. So there are the two opportunities. One is the opportunity to work with CIVITTA just on commercial basis. That means you can reach out to me. I can share my contact details, and I'm up myself, or we have colleagues. We are quite a big team in different offices specializing in this. So I can also involve colleagues just to have a call for the first time, a 1-hour call where I would ask you, pitch your world-breaking idea, how to change the world, pitch it to me. I'm not an expert in your field because I cannot be an expert in any field, but I am able to recognize at a high level, okay, would this idea fit to the call? Do you have the right dedication, commitment? Are you in a good starting position? To make an assessment, actually, does it make a chance? Does it make success? How I, as consultant, try to work is I'm not picking all clients. I try to be very picky and select. So this 1-hour call, which I can offer for free, is for me just to assess, give you advice, maybe go for it, or maybe don't go for it because the chances are low, or wait a moment because you are not far enough in your development of idea of the project or your innovation. It's too raw. This might be different advice what I can give you, or we can say yes, it's a good idea, and I can make a commercial offer for help in the proposal preparation. Could be also different ways. There are ways that we can collaboratively write it. It means not outsourcing it, just as Konstantin says. I don't know anything about brain science, so I cannot write an excellent proposal about brain science. I don't know anything and everything on industrial Internet of Things. So for GROVF, I cannot write a full proposal, but I can help in the process. This could be two parts. It could be we really help in collaborative writing, or we could do it another way in that we just give comments that you write it on your own and I give my feedback. This is one way. Another part is contact Davit. He's here as well. And GIZ is entering a new phase for supporting several Armenian applicants in Horizon 2020. So really discuss with him, what is your idea? What are the opportunities you want to apply for? Is this support already available? When will be the support available? Because it might be that in the future you will be selected by GIZ for support that you don't have to pay on a commercial fee, CIVITTA, because GIZ from their project can support the application process. But this really depends on timing, on the eligibility, on many other criteria. So I had a question I saw from on success rate for CIVITTA and supporting Armenian applicants. So yeah, we are here now with
yes, we can do that during Q&A.
Okay, so wait.
Yes,
excitement.
we will
Good.
have time for that. Yes. Just coming back to the EU framework programs, I have a question for Davit regarding innovation and innovation, tourism, and technology development in Armenia. Given that Horizon framework programs have a wide range of directions, it would be interesting to know if your project has a specific target group or preferred actions.
Thank you, Astghik. Yeah. Concrete measures at this point, as I mentioned already, it's capacity development for supporting structures and the most appropriate ways for support to proposal elaborations. These are the two main packages, but here also we are waiting for the recommendation packages coming from the assignment that I mentioned for strategy development. So for concrete measures on this regard will be done at the end of the assignment. We are waiting during the summer to receive all the appropriate ways how we can support for elaboration of proposals, and also which concrete capacity development needs do our national contact points needs, and if we need any restructuring of any good innovation there also. Regarding the concrete actions, as our project being technology development project, our main target is, our main focus is on innovation, research, and also SME related actions. So the main three components coming from the Horizon, this will be innovation, research, and SME related actions. If there will be any more suggestions from the strategy that we are waiting, yeah, sure, we are open to also for others. That is all.
Regarding that, would you a little bit share some more secrets? How are you going to select your potential applicants to support?
It's actually will be all will be with open calls, and yeah, just I would like to share now our social media channels, so you can all our interested potential applicants can apply, can follow that and know about opportunities. Actually, let me share in our internal chat, and I will ask our support team to just forward those to our comments part. So here will be, there will find all information about our activities, calls, and actions, and sure, everything will be open, and open calls will be there, and everyone interested can apply, and there will be after that just selection.
Okay, thank you for your contacts. We will share them for sure. Now, since we have lots of questions in our live chat, I will read the question, and whoever feels strongly about it or the question concerns best can answer. Our first question is for Sander. The question is the following: what's the success rate when assisting Armenian projects to apply for EU grants? Does your collaboration last till the end of the project, or is it only for the first phase?
Okay, yes. With the collaboration of GIZ, we supported both first different Armenian companies to apply for the so-called SME instrument, and later on different research institutions and universities to specific ERA chairs, twinning and teaming call. So there was actually two selections, meaning that I, together with GIZ, we made a selection of all interested applicants. And later on, we helped all these applicants, and well, in each case, there was one success. So the success rate was for Armenian, I think around 1 out of 6 for each of the cases. But you have to keep in mind that those 6 that were supported with my help of consultations was a selection of more applicants that were interested. In general, I can say there is a very low success rate in Horizon. Maybe average success rate is really dependent on the specific calls, but it could be from 2–3% till some calls maybe 20%. And this means that it's already super hard. And as I said before, it's even harder for Armenian applicants with limited experience compared to other organizations. On support for phase 1, well, traditionally we provide support in the application process. There is a possibility for companies to ask our help and support in the implementation. So we can help in implementation. So with GROVF, we have actually helped in the implementation of the feasibility study. With other companies, we help in the administration and reporting, and sometimes there are specific activities we can do. But it's always voluntary by the companies that say, I want to make use of these services.
Great, thank you. Our next question comes from Ashot. I think it concerns both Sander and Davit. I will read the first part. All the panelists mentioned that someone is expected to change the world to be eligible to apply for Horizon grants. My question to Sander would be, are there any platforms that match me as a researcher with other European researchers? It's your question, Sander.
Okay. Yes, there are many platforms for matchmaking, but if I may be very honest and maybe brutal, a good researcher should have a good international network in their field. If you don't know good quality researchers in Europe in your field, then maybe you're not suitable to apply, because if you don't know the researchers, you probably don't know what is the excellence in your research field. Good quality research requires having a good personal network and knowing who's who. So I think you're in a better position if you already have a good network. However, indeed, Horizon 2020 online portals have matchmaking opportunities for each call. So you can just register and say, I'm interested in this call, I'm looking for partners. Theoretically, it's possible. In practice, most successful consortia, they know each other already and form informally and not through matchmaking platforms.
Great, thank you. And the second part for Davit. My question to Davit would be if how GIZ is going to support cross-border collaboration. This is Ashot's question.
Yeah. So we are going first, as I mentioned, first what we are going to do, we will first understand what are the main actions and the relevant actions for our project, and related to that, we are going to have open calls. The ones who won from the call, they are going to be connected, and the international, we are going to bring international experts in this regard and understand with the support of our international consultant what is the key missing part from your proposal. If it's the international outreach, so we may try also to find partners from international any entity or research institution and connect to each other. It's all like everything is open in this stage, and we are just we need to understand what is the missing point related to your grant application and find to fill that gap. So our role here is to fill the gap, and we are going to, there is no any decision yet how we are going to do that. But anyway, we are open, and the opportunity is there.
Great, thank you. Our next question comes from Luisa Vartanyan. A question for Davit. Could you please talk about the timeline of this year application? When is the final deadline for the application submission? Are there any internal main dates for supporters?
Actually, it's generally, it depends in which action you are more relevant. they are really many. And for Horizon 2020, already several are over, but there are several more. So I will just suggest to you and all other interested persons, as the actions and thematic areas are many, just to contact with your relevant national contact point. Here I will try to find their network web page and share with you. And with them, they for each relevant action there is several deadlines, so they can share with you concrete dates and what should be done. And in later stage, if the national contact point will also says that your application is relevant, and as we mentioned, the three of us mentioned that you should be excellent on your field, and if you are, so sure, we will contact you and we'll support you in this regard. So you can continue. I will just find the web page and post it there.
Okay, we'll share that too. Thanks. I think we are done with audience questions for now. We will see if there will be any other questions. I have two final questions. One for Konstantin. Just in 2 words, Konstantin, could you share with us what milestones did the grant help you achieve? I know your project is still ongoing, but did you achieve any milestones that you would like to share with us? Your microphone.
Yeah, now I'm unmuted. The Relay project is starting from the October of 2019, and I guess that we has already achieved one milestone. It is the kickoff, when we announce that we are who we are and where are we going. So because we are just in the beginnings, but I again want to emphasize that it's very important milestone for the beginning to announce to the big auditorium, and we try to do it to ministers, to the government, to scientists, to students, to our community, probably to announce about us, to announce about the project. So I don't want to go to some small milestones which are not so easy to be covered during this COVID period, and I guess we'll make a lot of changes in the projects and the project. But coming to this point, I will emphasize with that now I think a lot of people know about us.
Okay, thank you. We have a couple of questions from our audience again. And Armenia Kardashian is asking, where can I currently find open calls for Horizon grants? So what resources, web pages would you recommend to use to explore the opportunities?
Maybe Sandra will add, but just as added here in our chat the web page for open calls, so you can just repost it.
Okay, I'm sure Armenia will check them. And we have another question from Anna Vakyan. You mentioned that in order to develop a good research proposal, the candidate should be experienced, excellent in this field, and have good enough research background. What to do if you have a good enough research topic, but you don't have enough research background and sufficient opportunities in a specific area in your country to gather the necessary experience and knowledge, which will help you to be competitive on international platforms?
Okay, I can answer this question. I think what is important here, if you talk about scientific applications, is to have a very good partnership network. If you can convince leading universities or research institutions in Europe to include you in the projects, maybe you don't take a lead yourself, but you come with your idea how you can contribute to this field, what you have to bring to the table, that is excellent. If you can convince leading researchers from Europe that you have something to add, and that your idea is really brilliant, then it's easier to collaborate. If you do everything on your own, but you cannot show that you have the background experience, the CV, the equipment, the institutional references, it will look less credible. I'm not saying you cannot do it, but you are less credible compared to your competition. So you might try, but it might be very hard to make a winning application. So try then to focus still on national grants, donor funding, to build the references and experience before you go to Verizon.
Thank you. That's a great point. And since we are running on time, I have one final question for all of you. If you could have one piece of advice for our researchers regarding fundraising opportunities in the scope of Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe programs, what that advice could be, just an advice that we haven't touched on yet and that could help our community to prepare their applications. I think Davit may start.
Yeah, thank you for your question. So recently we did a survey, and it was really interesting that many of our survey respondents answered that awareness raising is a topic here that not all our research community know about Horizon 2020 and what is really it is. So I will just suggest simply find as much information as you can on this, connect with your NCPs, national contact points. In the chat, you can find their contact details, and connect with your relevant NCPs and try to like extract as much information as possible from them. This will be my simple advice.
Thank you, David. Konstantin, one piece of advice for our researchers and entrepreneurs.
If it's coming to the fundraising, I will also hear as a listener, because for us it's also very important to know how to fundraise our projects, because now we are going via one way, apply for the grants, try to use our brains, and with the help of our brains, writing the proposal, winning the grants, and bring them. But probably I think that we also need to work more in touch with the community, with the business, to explain them how fundamental science could have, what achievements could have in the future. And here I will say that I also want to be a student to understand how to make fundraising from other sources. So I'm ready to enter the high school or university.
Thank you, Konstantin. And you, Sander, your final advice for our researchers and entrepreneurs?
Difficult to give one advice because there's so many things to keep in mind. One thing we haven't mentioned is really reading the call text, really understanding each word and sentence that's written there. So not coming with your idea and just write an application, but understanding what does the call want. And I would say sign up to the currently virtual information sessions organized by the European Commission by different calls. So they explain with presentations what are they expecting, how to apply, what is eligible. And this is very informative. And in the old days, you had to fly to Brussels and to be there. Nowadays, everything is virtual. So it means less travel costs and time costs. Just sign up and listen. And if you are too late, you can download the presentations and read, because it's very informative. Prepare well, reading, get to know, get to network, and spend a lot of effort and time to make an application.
Thanks a lot. All the points were great for our innovators, and I think they will use them. Since there are no more questions from the audience, I would like to wrap up and thank you, the panelists. Thank you very much for your time and valuable input. Also, thank you, our audience, for staying with us. I believe this was an insightful discussion for our community, and we are looking forward to see many and many projects to get funded. And I believe we will see that valuable changes they are going to bring to our economy. We are done for today, but many panel discussions and talks are coming just tomorrow at 8 p.m. You may join the live streaming regarding Berkeley Accelerator Program, which is another valuable opportunity for startuppers, which in our experience opens many opportunities for entrepreneurs to expand to global markets. So don't miss this opportunity. Stay tuned. We are done for today. Thank you again, and have a great rest of the day.
Me too. Take care.
Thank you for organizing. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.